Hey, this is Dan from the Geek Allstars. I'm going to be doing an unboxing today of Sword and Sorcery from Ares Games. And I guess this is also by Gremlin Project, but this is a non-Kickstarter edition. They had a Kickstarter, I believe, a while back, and they actually had a Kickstarter edition, but this is going to be the regular edition. I got this from Cape Fear Games. This is our sponsor, Cape Fear Games, down in Wilmington, North Carolina. They have an online store as well. Check them out at capefeargames.com. Use the coupon code GAS for 5% off your order of $100 or more and free shipping. But anyway, so this is Sword and Sorcery. This is a big old box here. This is kind of a big game, kind of like in your Gloomhaven type game where you've got 1 to 5 players, 13 and up, about 30 minutes per player, but you got to remember this is a campaign style game. And this is kind of why I thought it would be a good thing for us to pick up at the Geek All-Stars and check it out to see if we like this. Kind of like we love Gloomhaven, and we played it probably about, probably 13 to 15 scenarios. But I'm gonna go ahead and unbox this. What I did, so for people that are out there that are new, what I've done, tried to get a little bit better with these unboxings. So I've got myself I've got myself a tripod, which Daryl Lauder will be very happy about. And I've also got, I guess just tripod. So, and a little bit of thing there. And I figured I'd do some unboxings. Oh, the other thing I did that Daryl was big about was making sure that I did a little watch how to play some of these videos for of this, so I know what's going on, and I'm not just saying, oh, hey, this looks great. But big old box, kind of not quite a coffin box, but a pretty big box. And unfortunately, also, since I do have this in the tripod high, I won't be able to see any of the chat, so I apologize ahead of time. I will also hopefully do my best to get this up on the YouTube once I'm done after Periscope. Ares Games is big about putting in these catalogs. There was, somebody mentioned, why the heck do people with catalogs in there? I don't know. I just thought it would be pretty cool. But anyway, so here is some good, this is, like I said, this is a big box scenario type fantasy game where you're going to be doing different, you can either do a basic setup or you can do scenarios that are inside the box to play a campaign. As you can see there, I'm not really going to open up these, but there's a ton of tiles that come in there, some chits there, and these other pieces. There are these little things there. I'm not sure if you can see that there. That's kind of where encounters can spawn from when you do have an encounter deck and things like that. There are also other areas on this board, and they have these different tiles where, so the setup will be, the setup will tell you which tiles to use and in what order to use them. Here we've got, oh my Lord, is this a huge rule book? Dear God. But I guess if you're going to have a game that's kind of like, kind of like Gloomhaven, you better have a lot of, a big old rule book and a lot of rules to it. So there's a lot of depth. And I'm sure there's probably a bit of a quick start in here. At least they separate them. There's I don't know if you can see this, a green, a blue, and a red area. I guess that's kind of the enemies are there. This is probably part of your introduction. There you go, introduction, the heroes, and then the enemies. So that's a nice, huge rule book. Storybook. This is part of your journey when you're doing the campaign. I'm not going to show too much there because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it tells you how to set up the deck and things like that. And you're going to have a nice, here we have Act 1, Quest 4. So there's got to be a bunch of different acts in here. I guess the whole thing is just Act 1. Maybe the first box is just Act 1, perhaps. Here's one of these cheat sheets where it's got a lot of the good stuff on there. There's actually some pretty cool cheat sheets on Board Game Geek as well that I printed out a couple of them before I even went ahead to open this thing. But it's pretty cool. It shows you a lot of the icons and what they mean that are going to be in the cards, so you can keep that handy. Here you also have the Book of Secrets. Ooh. So this is going to, what do we got here? This is different events. So there's going to be numbers and in here that'll correspond to different things that are on the board and different things as you're playing your scenario. And it'll tell you where to go in a Book of Souls, and you'll read it, and different things will happen, and you'll put different map tiles out and stuff like that. Here you've got these are the player characters. Now, from watching the video, these player characters are actually double-sided. So here you see what looks to be kind of maybe an evil sorceress. I believe on the other side there might be a good sorceress or a good sorcerer, potentially on both sides. So I think you can possibly thematically play this campaign, either maybe even a good side or a bad side, role-playing wise. Here we've got kind of the Orc King. So this is kind of a combination of Descent and kind of, I guess, Descent and Gloomhaven. So you've got the Descent-like setup, with these pieces, but it's also everyone's co-op, everyone versus the game. So it's not one person versus many, which is what I really like about this, where it's more so all versus the game rather than one versus many, because I'm not really huge one versus many with this type of thing, because I want to feel like we're all playing together rather than playing against, you know, that one person, because it's no fun when Chris beats us every single time. So we want to be able to beat the game together, and that's what's great about Gloomhaven. Here we've got some of the encounter deck. There's a ton of cards in this. This here, let's see, taunts. This is going to be some of the abilities in here. Ton of cards, encounter deck, ability deck, where you've got different things where you've got, some saving throws, the source, what it does, the different, you know, didn't go into all these icons, but as you can see there, once per round, you become the preferred victim of a target enemy, which makes sense when you're looking at taunt. So anyway, that's there. That goes, it's a nice piece of there. I'll get into these miniatures in just a second. Here we've got some of the monster cards, and there's going to be different, kind of like Undercity, there'll be different colors of monsters, and there'll be different strengths. So here we've got a gremlin, shows you different, like what you roll and such, tells you what they will do on there. And it tells you the different things that it'll do, that, you know, if the enemies control the area, claws attack, gets extra attacks, which is going to be big whether you outnumber that enemy or if it outnumbers you. You'll have different things that'll happen according to there, and you'll have, you know, the abilities there. See claws and stone there. All right, more cards. I love cards. More cards, the better. Here's the event deck. I guess there'll be some random events, and there's also going to be numbered events that will go into here. And here we also see, this must be a trap here. Each hero within 2 areas attacked by 1 damage. This is basically 1 hit per soul rank divided by 2, -2 for, I'm guessing that's shield potentially, but that's darts. That must be a trap or an event there. Again, event cards. Now the big part. I'll go ahead and open some of these for us now. These are the miniatures. This here, we've got different green miniatures. This has got, I'm not sure if that's the player character. That's one thing I didn't really necessarily look into. That looks like it could be a player character there. I got some more, unless these could be brigands of sorts. Here, this looks like a goblin that we've got here. Hopefully the light isn't too bad for you. And there's some bigger ones in there. There's a whole bunch. There's about 3 or 4 different, but that's a big, look at how big that dude is. I'm not much of a painter, but these are still pretty cool to look at. So I probably won't be painting these, but you very well could paint these. This is a pretty big one that I remember seeing on one of the other videos out there. I don't really have anything I'm going to spoil, which is good because I didn't learn a whole lot. So, you know, I didn't watch enough of the playthroughs to be spoiled because, hell, I don't want to be spoiled either. But look at that dude. I'm not sure. I apologize for the light. Got a big old, the miniatures. See, the thing that I hear about Ares is that sometimes their miniatures are lacking. This is still pretty good. It's got a little, I think there's something you can do with miniatures where you can kind of dip them, possibly, I don't know if it's like boiling water and then cold water or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. And you can probably straighten that out a little bit. But I mean, if you look here, you got a really nasty looking dude there. Pretty cool. Anyway, you've got some blue guys, some red guys. And then we've got, let's look at these dice. And there's going to be a little bit of standees thing for you. You've got these red and blue dice. I'm pretty sure the blue are going to be more of the defense dice that you can roll, maybe the kind of the not quite as good dice when you're rolling for an attack. And then these red ones, if you'll notice there, they've got more lightning bolts on them and more hits. And there's a double lightning bolt. That'll be a little bit more damage for you. Whereas these blue ones, they have shields where I think if you're attacking with the shields, you don't do any damage, but there's also some hits here. But you've got some attack and defense dice, and they look really, really nice. All in all, I am really super jazzed about this. In a couple of weeks, hopefully Chris, myself, and Mosley are going to be doing a first play, second play video on Sword and Sorcery. So you'll be able to see what it's like, see, how it is when we come into the game, how we like it, what our thoughts are about it just coming into the game, and what our thoughts are after we played it once and one time playing it the second time. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I apologize if the light's not good. I'm working on the lighting. I just fixed, put a new light on up there just before I started. But anyway, it looks great. Production value is pretty solid. I've got Sword and Sorcery looking at probably about, I think this was 67 to about $70 at at Cape Fear Games. So if you want to go to capefeargames.com, check it out. See if they've got Sword and Sorcery. Use the coupon code, once again, GAS, for 5% off your order and free shipping on $100 more. And please check out the Geek Allstars. We'll be releasing an episode where Chris and I pretty much talk about this, that, and everything else. So thanks for watching, and we'll see everybody next time.